Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Linda. If you're new here, welcome. And if you found this channel through my Kumanokoto videos, I'm really glad you stuck around. This year, I'm approaching Couch to Peaks in a more intentional way. 12 hikes spread across the year, starting easier and gradually getting harder as I rebuild my fitness and confidence on the trail. This is hike number 1. I'm starting with Sandstone Peak. It's about 6.25 miles, with just over 1,000 feet of elevation gain. I've done this hike a few times before, which is exactly why I chose it. I know how it felt in the past, so today felt like a good place to check in and see where I am right now. My journey started after a long, windy drive up Yerba Buena Road off Pacific Coast Highway. I pulled into the trailhead parking lot, feeling a little queasy from all the curves. I've been here when this lot is completely packed, but today, plenty of space. There's a restroom here too, which is always a plus. And look at this view right from the parking lot. Look at those fluffy clouds. Here's what you need to know about this trail. Sandstone Peak is the tallest point in Santa Monica Mountains, at 3,111 feet. It's accessible year-round, but winter to spring is when it really shines. In the spring, wildflowers carpet the trail, and in the winter, it's your go-to when the San Gabriel Mountains are covered in snow. If you need a snow-free hike in Southern California during winter, this is a great choice. There are 2 ways to reach a peak. Most people take the Mishe Mokwa Trail, which gradually climbs about 4.75 miles to the summit area and loops back down on the Backbone Trail for 1.5 miles. The other way goes straight up the Backbone Trail, which gets you to the top in 1.5 miles, but it's much steeper. Here's a fun fact. Despite the name, Sandstone Peak is actually a volcanic rock. Millions of years ago, this area had volcanoes similar to the Cascades in the Pacific Northwest. What we see today is what erosion left behind. The Mishe Mokwa Trail starts with a gentle climb through all this green vegetation, surrounded by these incredible red sandstone formations. Honestly, I was expecting everything to be brown and crispy since it's January. But all this rain we got lately, it worked magic. Everything's green and lush. I even spotted some early wildflowers, which I definitely wasn't expecting. I kept going, stopping here and there to grab photos and just taking the views. The air was cool, the trail was quiet. This is why I love this hike. About 2 miles in, I noticed my left foot feeling off. I deal with plantar fasciitis occasionally, and it had been quiet for a while, but now I feel like it was waking up. Not great timing. I stopped to stretch my foot and calf. Everything felt really stiff, but the pain wasn't too bad yet, so I kept moving. There was still some fall foliage hanging on in this area, which looked amazing in contrast with all the scenery I've seen so far. Pretty soon I reached Split Rock. But by this point, my plantar fasciitis had gone from a dull ache to a sharp jab with every step. There's a picnic table by Split Rock, and I knew I needed to stop. I sat there stretching and doing the mental math. I could turn around, but I was almost exactly at the halfway point. This trail's a loop, so turning back meant walking the same distance either way. I decided to push through, but I had to slow way down. My pain got worse every time I stepped on uneven rocks, so I started picking my way around them, being super careful with my footing. Not exactly the hiking pace I wanted, but it was what my body needed. I kept going like this for another mile or so. Despite my foot, the views were incredible. That marine layer was sitting just below the trail like a blanket of clouds, hugging the mountains. One of those moments where you remember why you do this. After passing the Tri-Peaks junction, I knew Sandstone Peak was close. The thought of reaching the top, and only having 1.5 miles of downhill left, gave me a little boost. The final push to the summit is a rock scramble. There are multiple used trails crisscrossing up there, and you kind of just feel your way up. I've done this before, but it's been a few years. And today, I somehow missed the main path. I ended up on a much harder route, with way more scrambling than I remembered. I had to backtrack before finding the right way up. I don't know if my foot was distracting me, or if the trails changed from erosion, but I remember this being more straightforward last time. Either way, I eventually made it to the top. The descent was exactly what I needed. Downhill, easier on my foot, and the views kept delivering. So what did I learn from hike number 1? First, listen to my body. My left foot has always been my problem side. I had a bad ankle sprain years ago, and ever since then, my balance is slightly off on that side, and it feels weaker. The same side that gives me the plantar fasciitis. So instead of just pushing through and hoping it goes away, I'll need to actually do the work. Stretching and strengthening exercise for my left foot. Second, even trails I know can surprise me. I've hiked Sandstone Peak multiple times, but I still got turned around in that final scramble. Lesson learned. Always download the GPX track, even when I think I know the trail. That's it for episode 1 of my 2026 Hiking Transformation series. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I'll be back with hike number 2. If you're interested in hiking Sandstone Peak yourself, I'll put all the details in the description below. And if you're on your own transformation journey in 2026, drop a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear about it. See you on the next trail.